twinkle up in fun. Everybody talks about a new world in the morning, new world into morning never comes. New world in the morning never comes.
Good morning. That works. Okay. Thank you, Mary, so much for that beautiful beginning to our service. We just appreciate having you back with us a lot. Thank you so much. So, if we haven't met, I'm Reverend Jan Mourning, and it is my pleasure to welcome everyone, those of you in-house and those of you online. We're just so glad that you decided to spend your Sunday morning with us. And a special welcome goes out to all of our first-time guests, again, whether you're in-house or whether you're online. We just want you to know that we are absolutely an just unequivocally inclusive spiritual community. Wherever you are in your spiritual journey, whoever you are absolutely, totally welcome here. And streamers, we do consider you part of that spiritual community, and we would love to have you visit someday in-house. That would be great if you could do that. So if you are here in the sanctuary, you should find a yellow guest information card in the pew in front of you. It looks like this. And if you would be willing to fill it out, we will not harass you in any way. I promise we're not about harassment here, but we would be happy to, if you would like it, if you turn the card over on the back, there's a little square which asks if you'd like a complimentary subscription to our Daily Word magazine. Just a wonderful daily devotional. People from all faiths subscribe to it, and we would be happy to gift you that copy. Also, if you're watching online, we offer you the same thing. Just hit the Contact Us section on our website, udstl.org, and we will make that happen. I just want to say, if you do fill out that card and check the little box, it won't happen tomorrow, okay? The November-December version is already out, so it'll probably be after the first of the year. You probably get the January, February one. So, but it's just a nice little gift to you. So if you have a prayer request and you're in-house, we have a highly trained, newly trained, because we all just finished our training, prayer chaplain on duty, Hope Dotson, and she will be here to pray with you after service about whatever's on your heart. And if you're watching online, just hit the Need Prayer section on our website, and we will hold you in prayer for 30 days and then send your request to Silent Unity. So, first of all, a huge thank you, just a huge thank you to everyone who made our fall luncheon a success last week. It was so much fun. Food was delicious. If I start naming names, I'll get in trouble, but I do want to thank the Emnets for picking up the food. Thank you. That was an important task. And people donated the sandwiches, and you all brought dishes, and everything was delicious, and it was really fun. So thank you, thank you. And then one other thing before I get to announcements, and that is, once again this year, we're supporting Mitzi McDonald's annual toy drive for Annie Malone Children and Family Services. So we're collecting toys, new toys for kids and teens, and this year you can even shop at Amazon and have it delivered to Mitzi's house. So that's more convenient. Go for it. Also, on December 10th, Mitzi does a very interesting show at the Sheldon, and it would be fun if some of us could go to that. There's a flyer about that out in the lobby on the table. It's $25 general admission, all that goes to the Annie Malone organization, and kids 14 and younger are free with a new toy or gift. So I'll be sending an email out about that, so if you want to do the link to order online, you can do that. So now, just a few upcoming events. We never let any grass grow under our feet around here, do we? I swear. So today, we have the ministry chair meeting at noon in the adult classroom. Ministry chairs are very important, and we appreciate your work greatly. So we'll meet and gather. It's been a long time since we've had a chance to gather. And then also today is the start of the poinsettia orders for Christmas. There's an order form on the table out in the lobby. If you're a guest or haven't been here for a Christmas before, if this is the way it works, you buy the poinsettia. They're $9 each. We grace our altar with them, and then you will take them home right before Christmas. So they just really add a lot, and you can make them in honor or memory of a loved one. Also, the newly formed grief group will meet again on November 21st at 1 p.m. I see Lisa. Lisa, where are you? there she is right there if you want to talk to Lisa about that. Our topic this time is just about navigating the holidays. And I know when my husband made his transition a couple years ago, and that was really hard for me and still is a little bit. So we thank you, Lisa, very much for donating your time. And we are going to meet in the community room that day because the crafters and quilters will be upstairs in the adult classroom. So just clarification, the Thanksgiving Eve service will be held at Unity Church of Light in St. Charles this year, and it is at 7, not at 7 p.m., okay? I have one more quick announcement. Happy announcement, and that is our amazing Hope Dodson has completed all of her requirements for becoming a licensed Unity teacher. We're only waiting for her certificate to come in the mail, and then we'll have a party. So thank you. Stand up. As a former licensed teacher, I can tell you it is an unbelievable amount of work. It really is, but it's also an unbelievable opportunity for growth, so we appreciate you so much. So today's message is more than enough. I'd invite you to stand if you're willing and able for our first community song, My Soul is Welcome Here. That is so true. Your soul is welcome here. And it's by Daniel Nahmod and led by Katie Miklas and accompanied by Steve Schenkel. Thank you both. I'm sorry, I missed book club. See, I missed something. Thank you, Carol. Book club Tuesday at 2 p.m. at Miss Sherry's on South Lindbergh. Thank you, Carol.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. Just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome here.
Good morning. I'm Hope Dodson, my number one fan. I'm Hope Dodson. I'm your prayer chaplain for the day, and would like you to know that I'll be over by this window after service for any prayer needs you may have. And prayer chaplains are also usually available for a few minutes before service each week as well, if you're interested. And as always, all prayers are kept in strictest confidence. So today's daily word is freedom. The affirmation is, the Christ within is my source of freedom. Can we say that together? The Christ within is my source of freedom. Freedom is my spiritual birthright. I live my freedom when I speak my mind, pursue my dreams, and live with dignity and self-respect. It means I am self-directed, and I use my spiritual gifts of understanding, faith, and love, and strength to guide my decisions and actions. As I do, I feel free. I do what I can to support freedom for myself and others. I honor and give thanks for all those whose courage and dedication in service have helped build and sustain a world where all people can know true freedom. In prayer, I envision a harmonious human community that assures everyone's basic needs are met, respects differing viewpoints, and celebrates the unique expression of God that each person is. And from 1 Peter 2:16, as servants of God, live as free people, yet do not use your freedom as a pretext for evil. So let's take a moment to pray as we take a deep breath and inhale that peace of God, that peace in the universe that is right here, right now. And as we release all cares and concerns and think only of that peace, we feel that freedom that is innate in each one of us. We are so blessed. We claim this peace. We claim this freedom and say, thank you, God. Amen.
Life is easy when you're up on the mountain and you've got peace of mind like you've never known. But when things change and you're down in the valley, don't lose faith, for you're never alone. And the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, God makes them right. And the God in the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God of the night. We talk of faith when we're up on the mountain, but talk comes easy when life's at its best. But when the valley of trials and temptations, that's when faith is really put to the test. And the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, God makes them right. And the God in the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God of the night. And the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, God makes them right. And the God in the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God of the night.
Thank you, Mary. That was absolutely beautiful. So today we continue our series on the powerful little book, When Fear Speaks, Listen, by Dr. Dennis Merritt Jones. Dr. Jones writes, we all know that fear is associated with the idea of loss of something, but rarely do we take the time to consider how our fear driven behavior affects our lives, and the lives of those we love. And so if you have been with us in the past few weeks, you know that Dr. Jones invites us to listen to what he calls messengers of fear and their descendants. So thus far, just for review, we have covered the messenger of anger, whose descendants are rage and resentment, worry associated with anxiety and regret, judgment associated with superiority, inferiority, and hate. And last week we took a little hiatus and we looked at a bonus one, the fear of not enough time, with descendants of hurry and helplessness. And today we are going to look at two of the related fears. We're going to do 2 chapters today, and they are of selfishness and shame. Aren't you glad you came? Somebody lock the back door, okay? Goodness is going to evolve. Just stick with us. So I honestly am very candid in admitting that when I first read this chapter, I had some difficulty with the word selfishness. I'm not sure I ever associated it directly with fear, and I kept working with it and thinking about it, and then I realized what was going on. Many years ago, I used to go every summer to a camp. It was called the MYF camp. Does anybody know what that stands for? Oh, who's the Methodist here? The farmer? Yeah, absolutely. Methodist Youth Fellowship, and I loved it. I mean, I think the camp is gone, but I have amazing memories of it. My favorite thing was gathering around the campfire at night, singing those campfire songs, and hearing these wonderful stories and messages. And one I absolutely remembered still, and it was, put yourself first, put others second. I'm sorry, I messed it up. Let's start again. Put God first, put others second, and put yourself last. And I see some of you kind of grimacing. I not only remembered it, but honestly, it haunted me for a long time, to the point where when I went out with my friends as a teenager, I never expressed where I wanted to go. I just went along with the crowd, almost to the point where I forgot what my own desires were. And so while I certainly see the glory of putting God first, Jesus said, seek first the kingdom, and I see the glory of having that compassion to put others close up there, I'm not sure that we should always put ourselves last. So that's just my preface to the chapter. It's really all about definition in a way. What do we mean by selfishness? And Webster defines selfishness, I think that's maybe too little for you to read, as a concern for one's own welfare or advantage at the expense of or in disregard of others. So it's concern for your own welfare in disregard of others. And you might say it's excessive interest in yourself. I think you can read the synonyms there. They are egoism, narcissism, self-centeredness, and self-absorption. So those are things we don't want, right? Those don't sound like very positive things. Dr. Jones has a different take on the word, different than any I've ever heard. He defines it as a very specific fear of loss, that is, losing the power we think we gain by possessing more of whatever represents power to us. So really, whether it's a child hoarding his Halloween candy from his siblings, or whether it's someone coveting another person's spouse or partner, or whether it's being envious of a job, a status, or income, it's the same fear of not enough power that drives our actions. Selfishness is mired, Dennis says, in a belief that there's not enough power to go around, not enough power in its various forms to go around. Now, obviously, we're not talking about spiritual power here. We know there's always enough spiritual power. We're talking about what you might call ego power, human power. So the fear of not enough is a vicious cycle. We attract ourselves to what we believe, what's in our heads, and when we stop fixating on the idea that we don't have enough, when we just let that go, the spirit of generosity and the generosity of spirit will naturally arise from within where it's been all along. And we will come into that state of grace and into the abundance of everything good in our lives. We have to believe it before we achieve it. So the three descendants of shame have something in common. They all come from a fear-based belief that someone else holds the good that we seek. Someone's got our good. That's the bottom of it. Now notice this is totally opposite to the truth that God is our source. As Mary sang, the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. God is our source, and there is always plenty enough good for all of us, for everyone. The first descendant, however, is greed. Dennis defines greed as a strong desire for more wealth, possessions, and power than one needs, a false belief that more is better. This is the mentality of whoever dies first, or whoever dies with the most stuff and assets wins, right? And the truth is that stuff does not bring happiness. Sometimes it actually weighs us down. Jesus told us, "Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth where moth and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourself treasures in heaven where moth and vermin do not destroy and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there will be your heart." Where your treasure is, there will be your heart. And we know that everything on this relative plane of existence is temporary. It all passes eventually. Dr. Jones says, when the messenger of greed comes knocking at your door, if you can just pause, take that deep healing breath, and remember your oneness with all that is, with God and all that is, you can transcend the belief that you need more stuff, wealth, or power, and you can come to the knowledge that a life of wholeness, purpose, and serenity is yours. So now the next two descendants go together. They are envy and jealousy. Now, often we consider these to be synonyms. I think I sort of always did. Jones calls them kissing cousins, but he does make a distinction between them. He says envy is wishing we had something another person has, like a sports car, a mansion, an Ivy League education. And he says jealousy is wishing we had someone another person has in his or her life. Maybe not specifically the person, but wishing we had a maid, or wishing that we had a sister, or wishing that we had our parents, or whatever. And Dr. Jones reminds us that whether we are coveting something or someone, the universal principle of abundance says that neither of those is necessary. And in fact, greed, envy, and jealousy are the primary causes of most of the wars fought from antiquity to modern times, taking something that we think should be ours. And the fear-based belief in not enough has wreaked havoc in so many lives, and it is absolutely not the truth. It is not the truth with a capital T. The truth is God is our source and abundance is our birthright. That's the truth. So meeting our rightful abundance is a choice offered with every breath based on the understanding of the principle of abundance. Jones writes, expanding at the speed of light, perpetually creating more of itself from within itself, the universe offers a plethora of more than enough. And from his book, The Art of Abundance, he writes, the secret of life lies directly in front of us every moment of the day. It is the nature of the universe to bestow on all its sentient forms of life an abundance of whatever is needed, not just to survive, but to what? To thrive. And so Jones also adds, your scientists will like this, that quantum physics tells us that the potential for everything exists as unformed energy in the universe, to be given form through our own thoughts and beliefs. If we desire something, and by the way, the word desire means from the Father, if we desire something, we can have it due to this principle of abundance, which is always giving us our plentiful supply. So, the beginning of a remarkable shift, the beginning of that shift is the consciousness that we have a principle of abundance, and we are part of it. And we had an acronym early on. I don't know if you all remember it, but I want you to say it with me. It is an acronym of fear. Instead of face everything and run, which some of us want to do, right? It is, say it with me, face everything and rethink. Jones says when we liberate ourselves from the grasping tentacles of selfishness, greed, envy, and jealousy, we will experience an absolute shift in energy as the fear of not enough dissipates into the nothingness which it really is. Realizing our unity with a vibrant universe allows us to gratefully celebrate abundance that is ours and also to embrace the law of giving and receiving. Dr. Deepak Chopra says, because your body, mind, and the universe are in constant and dynamic exchange, stopping the circulation of energy is like stopping the flow of blood. In our willingness to give, we keep the abundance of the universe circulating in our lives. So it's this beautiful circulation of giving and receiving. And that leads us to messenger number 5. Dr. Jones begins this chapter with some compelling questions. And so if you're comfortable, I invite you all to close your outer eyes. And if you're watching from home, I invite the same thing. Close your outer eyes and take a moment to consider these questions. And I'll leave a little space in between them. Okay, we begin. Do you ever feel the pain of rejection or the sting of criticism from others? Do you occasionally look in the mirror and grimace at what you see? Have you ever compared yourself to others and wound up feeling less than? Do you look to others for approval or validation? Have you ever felt disgraced, humiliated, or mortified by something you or someone else did or said? Have you ever blamed yourself for making a mistake and then continued to beat yourself up about it long after the mistake was made? You may open your eyes. I'm certainly not going to ask for anybody to share. Those are very heartfelt questions. But I would say, if you answered any of those questions in the affirmative, welcome to the challenge of living in the world as spiritual beings having a human experience. We are both human and spiritual, and sometimes the balance is hard. And Dr. Jones says, if you answered yes to any of these, it's likely that the messenger of shame or one of its descendants is stopping by to say hello. Instead of fretting, we might just simply be aware that they're coming to you and they are bringing you a vital and life-changing message, something that can really help improve your life. So the message of selfishness is the idea of not having enough. And the message of shame is the idea of not being enough. Which do you think is worse? Absolutely. I think it's much worse to think that you're not enough than it is to think you don't have enough. And Dr. Jones writes, one of the deceiving things about shame is that it hides in the darkness between the fear of making a mistake and the fear of being a mistake. Its descendants, guilt, embarrassment, and perfection linger in the shadow of shame. And I wonder how many of us growing up have heard from parents, teachers, and other adults, shame on you. Have you heard that? That is something in all my years of teaching I never said to kids, and I've never said it to anybody that I know of. It's just a horrible thing to say. So to transcend this message, get it out of our consciousness if it's still there, we must develop an unrelenting willingness to look beyond societal messages, whatever anybody told us about ourselves that was negative. We need to look with optimism, faith, and the power to let go of what we've been conditioned to believe in order to embrace infinite possibilities of what can be. What can be. So the first descendant of shame is guilt. Now, Dr. Jones says, driven by fear, we may use guilt to punish ourselves for our mistakes, thinking that pleases God, thinking that our punishing ourselves is pleasing to God. He reminds us this is delusional thinking. It's an impossibility because the infinite intelligence that we call God is incapable of judgment, let alone punishing us. God is pure, unconditional love. And Joan adds, in fact, we do a pretty good job of not punishing ourselves and sometimes imposing guilt on others. One of my dear friends, a former colleague and counselor who I respect greatly, always said guilt is a useless emotion. He said that time and time again. Dr. Jones disagrees with that. He says, but wait, what if guilt has a silver lining? What if guilt, some guilt, can serve us well? His theory is that when guilt pays us a visit, it can remind us to regroup, do better, and be better in the future. So I'll let you make that decision. Albert Camus wrote, freedom is nothing but a chance to be better. And maybe what Dr. Jones calls soft guilt does take us there. Maybe it does. However, if we resort to long guilt trips, beat ourselves up, and dwell on our past mistakes, then guilt is definitely not helpful. Dr. Jones writes, we have no business dragging the past into the present moment, especially when we use events of the past to perpetuate more guilt and fear in the present moment. We take what's bothering us in the past and it ruins our present. He says, listening to the messenger of guilt with a teachable mind and an open heart is the mark of a wise person. Learn from the messenger and then, and this is extremely important, send it on its way. Don't let it live rent-free in your head. So the second messenger of shame is embarrassment. And Jones says, this is one of shame's go-to emotions because it shape shifts into whatever is most inappropriate for us and hangs our fear out there flapping in the breeze for the world to see when we become embarrassed. Joan adds, under any circumstances, and this is interesting to think about, whenever embarrassment emerges, it's a facade, it's a stand-in, it's a front man for fear. Remember, all fear is attached to a perceived loss of something, so think of the last time you were really, truly embarrassed. And if you don't have one, maybe you should be coming up here doing this talk, right? But just think of that, and just ask yourself, what loss did that represent? Why was I so embarrassed? Maybe it's a loss of face. Maybe it's a loss of your good reputation, loss of respect. Maybe it's exposing yourself to the world that you are less than perfect, which is why our author says embarrassment and perfectionism are closely related. And here's a question. Have you ever been embarrassed about something someone else has done? How many of you have been? I have too, and so what is that all about? Maybe it's that we think somehow that person's behavior reflects poorly on us. I'm not sure. We'll have to think about that. But Dr. Jones says transcending the fear of embarrassment is simple. Here's the good news. It's simple. He says, here it is. It's to become so comfortable in your own skin that you let go of the need to look perfect in the eyes of the world. Simple, but maybe not easily done, right? Maybe not easily done. So this takes us to the third descendant of shame, which is perfectionism. Dr. Jones calls perfectionism the pretty cloak we use to conceal our shame. It's one of the primary purveyors, he says, of the not enough syndrome. I'm not enough, so I have to conceal what I think I am. Perfectionism is actually, he says, it's the fear of losing power that comes temporarily from others, from their approval, from their love, and from their acceptance. And he writes, perfectionism fiercely takes on a life of its own as it drains the life force from our relationships, crushes our dreams and spontaneity, and extinguishes our ability to experience unconditional love, joy, and happiness. The underlying mindset is, if I just cover up my flaws, I can fool others and convince the world I am enough. And Swiss psychologist and psychotherapist Carl Jung said, shame is a soul-eating emotion. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. And Dr. Jones tells us that shame is brought on by the fear of not being good enough. There's the Jung quote. And this is called a telephobia, if I say it right. Jones asks, how can you ever be good enough in your life when you believe you are not good enough? It is the fear of imperfection, of not being enough. So here's the good news. Some of that was negative. Here's the good news. The spiritual truth is every single one of us on this planet was created in the image and likeness of God. How can we be anything less than enough? We are individualized expressions of divine spirit, all here to express all the powers of the Christ that are our inheritance. During the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus sat with his chosen followers, mostly fishermen, farmers, laborers, who were not considered worthy enough even to enter the temple courtyard. Never mind, they couldn't go into the temple, they couldn't go into the courtyard because they were considered unclean, because they worked so hard, they were not of the class to have the education to study the Torah, and they just were considered unworthy. And Jesus, sitting on top of that beautiful hillside, overlooking the Sea of Galilee, looked at them and said to them and said to us, you are the light of the world. Let your light shine. Bible scholar, one of my favorites, Reverend Ed Townley, explains, Jesus is not claiming that he alone is the light of the world. He's saying that each of us is a unique expression of that same divine light. That's what it means to follow Jesus. To know this about ourselves is indeed to light a lamp of truth in our own minds. And once we light that lamp, we cannot expect it to go out. We know that it will not remain unnoticed. It will be affected by everyone we deal with, even if we don't say a word about our being the light. This is the spiritual truth that Jesus called us to embrace throughout his whole 3-year ministry. We are here to light our lamps by having faith in who we truly are. And we allow our light to shine, and it shines forth into the world. In this consciousness, we can dissolve all of our fears, including selfishness and shame, as we claim our divine inheritance and know that truly, without a doubt, we are all more than enough. So as we take this into our heart and minds and get ready for prayer and meditation, let's join in affirming the great truth about our God that is being affirmed in UD churches all over the globe. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and at work in my life. God, the good, omnipotent, and so it is.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there.
And so now I invite you to close your outer eyes if you've not already done so. Become comfortable in your seat, letting it fully and completely support you. Relax your body, being sensitive to any areas of tightness and tension. And just take a deep, cleansing breath. Hold it for a few seconds, and then gently be willing to release any worry, problem, or fear that is preventing you from being fully present in this sacred moment. It only takes one conscious breath to become still and fully experience the presence of God. And so in this moment of centered awareness, know that as what has come before you is past, what is yet to come is future. There is only the blessed now. Resting in this moment is a gift. Every breath is a gift. Stillness is a gift. Godness is a gift. So from this sacred space of stillness, realize who you are. You are an individualized expression of the divine, one with the universe, one with all of life. As Jesus told you, you are the light of the world. Let your light shine. You are worthy. You are whole. You are more than enough. Scarcity is an illusion. It is God's good kingdom, God's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. The unlimited potential of the kingdom within you and all the joys and blessings of this physical world. Peace, harmony, wholeness, love, and financial plenty are yours. So in this consciousness, just feel the power and energy of the indwelling Christ, lifting you higher, bringing you to a greater understanding of your divine potential. The perfect divine life and energy we call God is pure, unconditional love, pure power, pure goodness. You are here on this earth to be God's expression, to express the love of Spirit, to experience its abundance, and to dwell in its goodness. Through the grace of God and your gift of imagination, what you believe, what you envision, you can achieve. You can right here, right now, turn your pivotal soul away from fear and worry to the truth of absolute abundance and love, both of which are your birthright. In this quiet moment, ask yourself, where does this truth live in me? Do I sense that it is not only my right, but my destiny to live a life of abundance and peace? Do I realize that if anyone ever told me I was less than, they were simply misinformed? Do I understand right here, right now, that I am more than enough? So I invite you now to take this into the silence for a few moments, to contemplate your true nature and the goodness of God. And as you do, if you have any unresolved fears, see them gently surface. If you have a problem that seems insurmountable, bring that into your mind. And for a few moments, visualize your fears disappearing and your dreams absolutely manifested. With God, nothing is impossible. Contemplate this now in the silence. So now, whether you're a longtime member or whether you're a first-time guest, right here, right now, we come together as the First Unity Church of St. Louis, a spiritual community. Our hearts are full of gratitude, and we say, in and through the power of the Christ, thank you, God, and so it is, and so we joyously allow it to be. Amen. Thank you, Mary Keller, for sharing your amazing talent with us. Your songs were absolutely perfect, as they always are. Thank you so much. And thank you, Steve Schenkel, for bringing such gifted artists to us every single week. We appreciate you, and gratitude to Katie and to Chuck for leading our songs today. It takes a village, does it not? So now we come to that time in our service where we pause, reflect, and give thanks for our many blessings. We appreciate your financial donations as we depend upon them to fulfill our mission for enriching more and more lives. And for those of you in the sanctuary, there's a box for tithes and offerings in the back. Streamers, we also want to thank you for your donations. And for everyone, donations can be made via Apple Pay, Google Pay, or PayPal. Just hit the donate button on our unitystl.org website or on our YouTube channel. Knowing we are one with divine source and that God is our source, please join me in blessing our many gifts. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And now, if you're willing and able, I invite you to stand for our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over us. The presence indwells us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. So thank you all for joining our service today. We look forward to seeing you next week. As a vibrant, inclusive spiritual community, we come together in oneness of spirit to support one another and be God's goodness in the world. And I have one quick announcement, personal announcement, which I forgot to do earlier. I'm taking a few days off this week, believe it or not, from Monday through Friday, so I'm not going to do office hours, but I'll be back next Sunday. So everybody stay well. Don't go to the hospital. No, those kind of calls. Okay? So our service will end with our final community song, very important one by Unity great Carmen Mosier, Let's Be. And after this song, it will end our service. Please come down for coffee and conversation. We have donuts and homemade cake and lots of wonderful things. And everyone's welcome, and we'll hope to see you next Sunday. And ministry chairs will convene at noon in the adult classroom. Thank you all.
Let's be what we're made to be. Isn't this our destiny? Let's get started now today, upward on our way. Let's be what we really are. Seek and find a shining star. Let's go forward in the light, faces shining bright. One with God, unlimited are we. Let us prove the truth that sets us free. Let's accept our highest good, knowing we're in brotherhood. Now the good in all we see. Let's don't wait, let's be.
Never was enough till I met